Hey there guys, John here, and thanks for checking out this special user-submitted question video here on the channel. You see, every day on the John Campea Show, in the second half of the show, we take live questions, but every once in a while, somebody sends in like a really big tip, like $50 or more. And when they do, I like to honor that by not only answering the question on the show, but also answering it in its own standalone video. So let's get right to it. And this question comes to us from Mukbang Reviews, who writes, please talk about building brand loyalty and user community. You've done it many times. Teach us in a small video. Contrast with what not to do, as in your epic rant. I loved it, and thank you. All right, man. Thanks a lot for sending that in. And yeah, listen, you guys have probably heard me talk a little bit about whether it was in a rant video or other places. What I believe to be a really big important thing when it comes to particularly online branding, which is community, building community, or at least facilitating community. Like, one person cannot create community, but you can at least do the things and lay the groundwork that fosters community and facilitates community. Around here at the John Campea YouTube channel, we try to do that because in a lot of different ways, whether it's open live chats during the live shows, whether it's our Discord server for our Patreon supporters, whether it's our Facebook page for our Patreon supporters, whether it's the comment section itself, encouraging a call to action at the end of every one of our topics. You guys will notice that in the John Campea Show, at the end of every topic, I ask the community, what do you think? Because that's the most important part. What do you think? How would you address this issue? How would you answer this question? Jump down to the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. Anything that fosters and facilitates and encourages the idea of community building, because this is what I believe when it comes to the online world. You can do the BuzzFeed approach, right? Which is, and I'm not trying to crap talk BuzzFeed by any stretch of imagination. I'm just using this as an example. You know, the BuzzFeed approach, which is make the next clickbait video you can, like, this lion found a puppy. What happens next, you'll never guess. You know, and you can make that video and you can hope that a lot of people will click on that video. That's great. And you may get a ton of clicks and you may get a ton of views of that video. The shortcoming, though, is it's an empty video in the sense that watching that video does not create a sense of community around the videos. That video doesn't create a sense of brand identity, brand awareness, or more importantly, brand loyalty when it comes to that thing. It's just a video by video. You're living essentially paycheck to paycheck. I believe when you create online community, that even when I put up, like, listen, if I was doing like kind of what I call the BuzzFeed method, which is just living by video to video, well, I can make 1 million views on the lion finds a puppy. You'll never guess what happens next. I can get 1 million views on that video. But if my next video doesn't have the same pop, nobody's going to watch it because the previous video didn't create any brand loyalty. It didn't create any community. Here on the John Campea YouTube channel, and in other places, I'm not the only one who does this, lots of other places, but on places like the John Campea YouTube channel, where it's about community, where it's about interaction, where it's about sharing not just my thoughts with you and your thoughts with me, but your thoughts with each other and all that kind of stuff, and we encourage that type of thing, then it creates a sense of belonging. You know, I've had a lot of conversations with people who watch the shows, and they feel like they belong here, that this place is also their place. And so when you foster an environment of community, my next video may not be quite as good as my previous video, but I still know that the community is going to be there to rally around it, watch it, to engage with it, talk about it, all that kind of stuff. When it's the BuzzFeed method of it's only worth what this video is, and it doesn't create any community, it doesn't create any brand loyalty, then you're in essence, like I said before, living paycheck to paycheck. And so that's the other thing. It's just that a community-based areas like this, I just think are more fun. I just enjoy being a part of that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a place for the BuzzFeed type of videos and BuzzFeed types of channels. It's always kind of fun knowing that channels like that will be there to drop a video that I can check out or not check out whenever I want, maybe get a laugh out of it or be entertained by it. I believe there's all sorts of places, but the ones I prefer personally being a part of and running are ones that foster community, because you get to know the other people in the community. You just establish good rapport there. and it's just a fun place to be, whether or not the next video is great. So I think that's part of the important. Now, really, the whole topic of brand loyalty and community building, that is something we could talk about for 4 or 5 hours, but I'm trying to keep this to 5 minutes or less. So those are my quick thoughts on that. Question is, guys, you knew this was coming. What do you think about all that? Do you see that principle of community playing into some of the YouTube channels that you like to visit and go to regularly? Do you really not really see that as a pattern at all? How do you guys see that? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, that will do it for me for this video. Thank you so much for being here. My name is John Campea, and until next time, guys, bye-bye.